Hi everyone, today I'm here to do the book calendar tag. I was tagged by Clarice over at Clarice Reads, and the original tag, I'll leave in the link down below, was by the BookTube girl. So this has 12 questions essentially, where it focuses on months around the year. So for each month there is some sort of bookish question involved. So, January. New Year's. Name a new release coming out this year that you are greatly anticipating. Now, I'm not one to massively follow new releases, mainly because I've got that massive a TBR that I really don't need to worry about new releases too much. So this one took quite some thinking for me. In the end, I went for Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Now, this is a YA sci-fi title that's been doing the rounds a bit on BookTube recently. A lot of people at BEA got ARC copies, and the ARC copy looks amazing, the quality of it, the hardback, and there's a picture here and it just looks so good. The content inside is apparently quite good as well. I know a couple of people have read it and really loved it, so in the end I just had to go for that one because I don't really know of many other books coming out soon that I am highly anticipating. So, February, leap year. Name a book or series that you would like to skip and refuse to read. Now, for now, I'm going to have to go with The Lord of the Rings, I'm afraid. I've tried to read this so many times. I think it doesn't help that I've got the great big bound up copy. It's all yellow because it's so old. The font is absolutely tiny. It's some great ridiculous amount of pages, like 1,000 pages long in total, and I just can't bring myself to pick this book up at all. That's not to say I won't do one day, but I've got too many good books to worry about reading to pick this one up anytime soon. So yeah, this one I'm afraid. Please don't hate me. March, St. Patrick's Day. Favourite book set in the countryside or a rural area. Now for this one I have gone for The Bones of You by Debbie Howells. I finished this book just the other day and it blew me away. It's an adult mystery. It's about a girl named Rosie who gets murdered and about the impact that has upon everyone else in this small idyllic village. This book just blew me away. I've actually done a full video review for this book if you want to check it out. I'll leave the link down below. April. April Fools. Name a book that had a story that tricked you into thinking it was going in one direction but then ended up going in a completely different one. It took me a while to think of a book for this one too, but in the end I came up with The Iron Trial by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. I read that one recently and everything that I thought was going to happen in that book didn't. It just seemed to go away from any standard tropes. I highly recommend this book because it kept me guessing at every turn. I was like, this is going to happen. This is the obvious thing that's going to happen, and the opposite happened. It was wonderful. So go check it out. May, Mother's Day. Name a book that is always there for you, that you love and lightens the mood when you are feeling down. Now for this one I've gone for A Gift from Bob by James Bowen. All three of the Street Cat Named Bob books, to be fair, just touch my heart. They're so heartwarming. But this one in particular, it's based around Christmas. It's got lots of Christmassy feelings going on. It just warms your heart. It makes you feel happy inside. I can't recommend it enough. It's quite a short read as well, so you should definitely check it out, especially around Christmas time if you want something to just warm you up inside and make you feel all fuzzy. June, Summer Solstice. Name a book that felt like it took forever to read. Now for this one I'm going for A Dark and Distant Shore by Ray Tannehill. The reason why this one felt like it took forever to read is because it did. It took me 2 months. I think it was last summer or the summer before, probably last summer. And it's 848 pages long. Now I don't actually have my copy right now, as I do have a physical copy of this one. I don't actually have it right now because I lent it to a friend and they've had it nearly a year. Hoping I get that one back at some point, but I think it's more a case of it's just taking them forever to get through it too, and they're an even slower reader than what I am, so it's being dragged out over a year. Great book though. It's a historical fiction set mainly in Scotland, and it covers the lifespan of around 100 years if I remember correctly, so much happens through this lifetime. It's quite a special book. I highly recommend it if you're into historical fiction. July, Independence Day. Name a strong and independent character that inspired you. For this one I'm going for my good old friend Matilda. I've mentioned Matilda in past videos. I think that her character is just amazing because she is the whole reason why I even turned into some great big bookworm. I think that Matilda is just such a strong character anyway. She defies her awful parents. She goes to the library and teaches herself to read. She gets these great big massive books that no other child her age could be reading. She teaches herself because they won't send her to school until she begs to be able to go to school. No, she does go to school. Her head teacher is just an absolute cow. Matilda is easily the strongest character, and I think it's amazing that we can have such a strong character in children's literature. August, no holidays. If you could create a holiday that in some way concerned books, what would it be? I think for this one, I'd just plan some sort of massive holiday touring many of the major places in the world that I want to go to that have got amazing bookstores, famous bookstores, big bookstores. Just something special about each bookstore. I think that'd be fantastic. Just imagine just travelling around the world and then going into this bookstore and then that bookstore. I'd need a lot of money for all the books and shipping the books back home too. But that'd be a fantastic holiday. Forget beaches, just go in shops all day. September, 9/11 Remembrance Day. What is a book that had a huge impact on you and one that you will always remember? I had quite a hard time picking a book for this one because quite a few of the books that I've mentioned in this tag or that I'm going to mention in the up and coming questions are all ones that have really been quite special to me and have touched me in some special way. So in the end I went for A Street Cat Named Bob by James Bowen, the first book that he brought out. Now these books are based on, well, they are basically real life, just told in a slightly more kind of story way, friendly way. James was sort of not doing very well in life. He had been on serious drugs. He was trying to work his way out of that though. He had been homeless for a long time, but again he was starting to get his way out of this when he discovered Bob, a cat on his doorstep and who needed help. And even though he barely had 2 pennies to himself, he went and got this cat help and took him in, and the story just goes on from there and their adventures together and how inseparable they are, and I love them to bits. He opened my eyes to how life can be for the homeless. He's opened my eyes to big issue sellers. I used to be guilty of being one of those people that would just walk past and just totally blank them. Reading his story really pushed me to not be so ignorant. Just because these people are in these bad situations, it doesn't mean that they deserve to still be there. They are working hard to try to get themselves sorted, to get themselves back on their feet, and you shouldn't just ignore them when they're trying to sell the big issue. So now I always politely say no thank you. If there's an edition that interests me, then I'll occasionally buy one. I don't buy quite as often as I'd like, but I do occasionally, and I always make sure I give the sellers eye contact and say either no thank you or yeah I will, etc, etc. There is no excuse for ignorance, and this book really opened my eyes to that. October, Halloween. What is your favourite mystery or horror book? Now, I was having a hard time thinking about a book for this one too. I was just totally blanking out. I couldn't think at all. In the end, I just had to go for The Bones of You again by Debbie Howells. I just couldn't think about anything else except this book. As I mentioned in a previous question, this book is a mystery about who killed Rosie. Now the mystery aspect of it gets a bit lost along the way occasionally because it becomes more about the effects of everyone else involved too, but the mystery part is obviously still there to the very end. I guess it was quite early on actually, but that doesn't make this any the worse off for it. It had me gripped, and that's what you want out of a mystery book. I'm starting to lose my voice quite a bit. November, Thanksgiving. What series are you most thankful exists? This is going to be an obvious one, isn't it, guys? This is going to be an obvious one. Harry Potter. I've just brought the 7th one up here. I wasn't going to bring them all up because my bookshelves are downstairs and I film upstairs now, so I don't need to say anything else about Harry Potter, do I? I grew up with Harry Potter. I can't imagine my life without Harry Potter. Imagine how many people now wouldn't read if they hadn't read Harry Potter as children. Scary thought there. December, Christmas. If you could recommend your viewers a book as a gift, what would you recommend? Really struggled with this one. There's so many books that I'd recommend to people, and a lot of them have already been mentioned in this tag, so obviously I think everyone should have read Harry Potter. If you've not read Harry Potter, I think that's a wonderful, wonderful place to start. I think everyone should read The Bones of You. Go and pick it up. Read The Bones of You. Have you not read Matilda yet? You really need to read Matilda. I feel like this is probably an important book, even if I don't plan to read it, maybe you should. I also think The Street Cat Named Bob books are a really important read. I think everyone should pick one, at least one of those. You don't really need to read them in order, but it's better if you do. Also The Infernal Devices, all three of them. Just read all three of them. I realised that I've failed on this question and I've named far too many books, so I'll just leave it there. I'd like to tag Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing. Oh my god, that username is a mouthful. I don't think I've ever tried to say it before, Aoife. I would also like to tag Carolyn from Carolyn Storer, and also Allyson Tuggle. You three are tagged. I can't wait to see your responses. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Voice for not quite giving up on me. I will see you all later in the week. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Drop me a comment down below with any responses to any of the questions that you think I might be interested in. And subscribe if you haven't done already. And I will see you later in the week. Bye bye. Now for this one, I have gone for...